Energy has been the quiet force behind every great leap in human civilization. From the first controlled fire that warmed homes and cooked food, to steam and coal that fueled the industrial revolutions, factories, schools, and hospitals, to oil that powered modern technology, healthcare breakthroughs, education systems, and even military strength. Reliable energy has always unlocked progress, productivity, and better lives. Access to modern electricity remains just as essential today. It powers lights for children to study after dark, refrigerators to store life-saving vaccines in clinics, machines in workshops and factories, computers for learning and innovation, the infrastructure supporting growing economies and secure communities. Today, reliable electricity plays that same essential role everywhere except Africa. The entire continent, home to about 19% of the global population, accounts for just 3% of worldwide electricity demand. Think about that disparity for a second. On a per-person basis, average electricity use in Africa is roughly 600 to 650 kilowatts per year. That's less than 1/6 of the global average of 3,800 kilowatt-hours, and far below levels in Europe, North America, or even parts of Asia. The average American uses more electricity running their air conditioning for 1 month than an average African uses in an entire year. What does this mean in real life? Small businesses struggle with unreliable power for tools and machines. Clinics can't always keep vaccines cold. Students study without fans, lights, or computers. In sub-Saharan Africa, especially, where hundreds of millions still lack. Now here's where it gets absolutely wild. Africa's solar potential is staggering, especially in the vast Sahara Desert. It spans over 9 million square kilometers and basks in some of the world's highest solar radiation, up to 3,000 kilowatts per square meter annually. The Sahara receives enough sunlight in one day to power a laptop for 22 years straight. Imagine this. Covering just 1.2% of the Sahara with solar panels could generate enough clean electricity to power not just Africa, but the entire world based on current demands. Imagine this. Covering just 1.2% of the Sahara with solar panels could generate enough clean electricity to power not just Africa, but the entire world based on current demands. Let that sink in. Just over 1% of one desert could power all of humanity. For Africa alone, where electricity use is already so low, an even smaller patch, around 0.3%, or roughly the size of Morocco, could completely eliminate the continent's energy shortfall. That means lighting up every home, clinic, school, factory, and tech hub, without the blackouts that hold back progress today. This isn't science fiction. Studies from organizations like the International Renewable Energy Agency confirm that Sahara Solar could meet Africa's needs many times over, driving the same manufacturing booms, healthcare advancements, educational access, technological innovation, and economic stability that energy fueled everywhere from the Industrial Revolution to post-war Europe. If the solution is this obvious, why are we still talking about it instead of doing it? The challenges are immense, and they're mostly human, not technological. Challenge 1. Political instability. Political instability across Sahara-bordering nations has deterred investors for decades. Large-scale solar projects require stable governments, cross-border cooperation, secure environments for massive investments, and reliable transmission lines that often span multiple countries. In the Sahara and Sahel regions, frequent coups, conflicts, border disputes, and governance challenges create risks that scare off investors and delay progress. Between 2020 to 2023, there were 7 military coups across Sahel countries, making it the world's coup belt. Take the Desertec disaster. Take Desertec, the high-profile 2009 plan to build vast solar farms in North Africa and export power to Europe via underwater cables. It had everything: 400 billion euros in projected investment, backing from major European companies, and grand ambitions to supply 15% of Europe's electricity by 2050. By 2014, it had collapsed. Most partners pulled out. Why? The Arab Spring, starting in 2010-2011, brought massive upheaval, overthrown governments in Egypt, Tunisia, and Libya. plus ongoing instability that shattered the political partnerships needed for such ambitious multi-nation coordination. Historical tensions didn't help either. The Algeria-Morocco border, closed since 1994 over the Western Sahara dispute, made infrastructure sharing nearly impossible. Security fears, including risks of attacks on facilities, added huge insurance premiums, combined with internal disputes among backers and shifting economics. These political shocks doomed the project before a single panel was installed. The Algeria-Morocco border closure is one of the world's longest land border closures, lasting nearly 30 years. More recently, the African Development Bank's Desert Power program, launched in 2018 with big promises, delivered 10 gigawatts of solar across the Sahel by 2030, bringing electricity to 250 million people. Progress. Only around 200 to 225 megawatts have been approved and financed, so far just 2% of the target. Most projects remain stuck in early planning stages. Why coups in Mali 2020-2021, Burkina Faso 2022, twice Niger 2023, and Chad 2021, plus civil wars in Sudan and Ethiopia have derailed implementation. Many of the 11 target countries are now conflict-affected or fragile, leading to restricted access, disrupted partnerships, and soaring costs that deter private capital. 10 gigawatts is roughly equivalent to 10 nuclear power plants. That's how much clean energy is stuck in bureaucratic limbo. These aren't isolated issues. Political instability across the region raises financing costs dramatically, complicates regulatory approvals, and erodes the trust needed for long-term infrastructure investments spanning decades. Until governments stabilize, regional cooperation strengthens, and security improves. Even the sun's endless power remains frustratingly out of reach for solving Africa's energy crisis at scale. But it's not all doom and gloom. Despite the setbacks, there's real hope shining through, literally. Countries across Africa are breaking the pattern, proving that determined leadership, smart partnerships, and leveraging unique resources can deliver tangible progress. Morocco, the desert power pioneer. Morocco stands out as a beacon of success with the Noor Ouarzazate solar complex, the world's largest concentrated solar power facility at around 580 megawatts. Noor Ouarzazate is so big it's visible from space. Astronauts can spot its mirrors from the International Space Station. This single facility powers over 1.1 million homes, offsets hundreds of thousands of tons of CO each year, and has helped Morocco push renewables to 20 to 30% of its electricity mix. Their target, 52% renewable energy by 2030. Solar Pharaoh rising. In Egypt, the Benban solar park, one of the world's largest solar complexes, has reached about 1.5 to 1.8 gigawatts of installed capacity. That's enough to supply clean energy to hundreds of thousands of households while cutting millions of tons of emissions. With new additions planned, including 200 megawatts expansions targeting connection by 2026, and even larger hybrid projects in the pipeline. Egypt is redrawing its energy map and boosting grid reliability for its 100+ million citizens. The geothermal giant. Kenya leads Africa in renewable innovation, already sourcing over 90% of its electricity from clean sources. Geothermal power, tapping volcanic heat beneath the Rift Valley, provides nearly 1 gigawatt, almost half the country's electricity mix. Kenya's geothermal fields are so productive. Steam literally shoots out of the ground naturally. Workers just have to drill and capture it. Projects like Lake Turkana Wind Farm, Africa's largest wind installation at 310 megawatts, and ongoing geothermal field expansions aim for 100% clean grid power by 2030, lighting up homes, schools, and businesses while creating thousands of jobs. Lake Turkana is one of the windiest places on Earth. Wind speeds regularly hit 12 meters per second, making it perfect for turbines. The green hydrogen pioneer, Namibia, is pioneering something entirely new. Green hydrogen, the massive Hyphen projector, $10 billion plus vertically integrated initiative, is poised for final investment decisions. with Phase 1 construction potentially starting by late 2026. Green hydrogen is made by splitting water with renewable electricity. It's basically bottled sunshine that can power ships, planes, and factories. Backed by government partnerships and international financing, including recent African Development Bank support. It targets hundreds of thousands of tons of green hydrogen annually, plus thousands of jobs. Namibia is positioning itself as a future global player in clean fuels, potentially exporting energy worldwide. Namibia has some of the best solar and wind resources on Earth, over 3,500 hours of sunshine per year, nearly 10 hours daily. The path forward. These successes show Africa is waking up slowly, but surely, where large-scale desert solar has faced political hurdles. Localized and hybrid renewables are thriving in stable, forward-thinking nations. Solar power is now the cheapest electricity source in history, cheaper than coal, gas, or nuclear in most places. Smaller, distributed solutions like community mini-grids are also advancing in more stable regions, bringing power to rural villages that may never connect to a central grid. These aren't just backup plans, they're often the fastest, most practical path to universal access. Conclusion. Reliable power isn't a distant dream, it's already transforming lives and economies in these trailblazing countries, inspiring the continent toward a brighter, more energized future. The Sahara's potential hasn't disappeared. The sun still blazes over those 9 million square kilometers every single day, offering more energy than humanity could ever use. The technology works. The economics increasingly make sense. What's needed now is stability, cooperation, and political will. When those align and the success stories prove Africa won't just solve its own energy crisis, it could light up the world. If Africa reached Europe's per capita electricity consumption, its economy could grow by $1 trillion annually. That's bigger than the entire economy of Spain. So, will Africa ever live up to the task?